So, hello again, Veronica.
Hi.
So, today we're going to do step 4, which says, make a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Eek!
So what does that mean for you? What's your thoughts when you read that? How do you feel?
I want to put my head in the sand and go, la 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 la. Do I have to do this? I can't do this. That's what it makes me think and feel. Yeah, it scares the bejesus out of me.
Yeah, well, welcome to the club. That's what every single person feels.
Okay.
I remember sitting and looking at the 12 steps and going, right, yeah, I'll do some of those. I'm not doing 4 or 5 or 9, but I'll do the rest. Surely that's enough. There's lots of them. Surely if I just do a few of them, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
So everyone feels that way, and it's just one of the most incredible experiences. It's just incredible, and it's one of those experiences. It's very much like going to the dentist when you've got a really, dodgy tooth. The thought of going and getting that tooth treated is so much worse than reality. And yeah, if you're getting it treated, it can be a little bit uncomfortable, whatever. But then afterwards, you're like, oh my God, I feel like a new person. It's kind of like that. So I'll break it down exactly what's involved, because it really is one of these experiences that's pretty straightforward. It is a little bit uncomfortable. It's like an emotional detox. Afterwards, the feeling of freedom is just undescribable. So it's really it's looking at certain parts. It's really looking at and it talks about this in the AA Big Book, really, that it's the resentment is the number one offender for alcoholics, and it really, and that has just certainly been my experience. So it's really looking at what you do in doing this inventory is you write down your resentments towards people. So everybody has some big lifelong resentments, usually against a parent, a sibling, a major person in their life who, that relationship has always been difficult, toxic. So you basically, I'm resentful at my mum, cause for, not being there for me, for judging me, for putting me down. And I always say to people, get it out raw and don't dress it up. Put down, I'm resentful at, Mary at work. She's a effing bitch, and just get it out exactly how you feel. Then, after you've done that, we look at what parts of yourself have been affected by this resentment you've had. So there's different parts that make up a person. So we have our romantic sexual lives, we have our personal lives, we have our work lives, we have our financial lives, we have our ambitions, which is what we want, we have our self-esteem, which is what we think about ourselves, we have our pride, which is what we think other people think about us. So these resentments always affect one or some of those different parts of self. Mary at work, that affects, my pride, because, I just know she's thinking these things about me and judging me and all that kind of stuff. So we're really looking at how these are being affected. So we get all of that down, and that's pretty therapeutic to get these, get this stuff down, these people and these things they've done to me and the harm they've caused me and all the nasty things that happened. Then we turn it on its head and we look at the harm that we have caused to these people. And this is where the freedom really comes. For example, I definitely had my mother was top of the list. And it was hard for me to begin to even figure out, I could just go, I'd spent hours of my life in therapy talking about my mother. So to begin to peel away, and it really is looking at just your side of the street. So regardless of what she's done to me, it's looking at the times that I'd been mean, nasty, rude, judgmental, behaved awfully to her. Whether, you can't go down the road of, well, she did this to me, so I did that to her. No, what did you do? Just what did you do? Then from there, it was looking at, and this is where just enormous freedom came for me, is the reason that I really resented her was that she was not being the person that I wanted her to be. She didn't do what I wanted her to do, and she didn't say what I wanted her to say. So I was constantly in a state of rage and frustration with her because she was just being her dysfunctional, crazy self. Now, I can't change that, and I can't change her, but I can change my response to it.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, I began to see that I wanted everybody who I was resentful at to really just behave the way that I would like them to behave. And here's the thing, yeah, of course, you know, if everyone was behaved perfectly and wonderfully, we would have a wonderful world. But the truth is, I've spent a lot of my life behaving pretty badly, and, you know, people have put up with that. So the freedom came in understanding that some of these people were spiritually unwell, just like I was, and that I couldn't change them, but I could change my response to them. So I could stop judging them. I could stop talking about them behind their backs. I could stop being mean to them. I could stop slamming the phone down on my mother. I could stop being manipulative. I could stop saying one thing but meaning another. You know, lots of things were revealed to me. You know, like in friendships, it was revealed to me that actually my part was I never actually said what I meant. I always said yes when I meant no. I was so scared of being alone that I would just put up with anyone, and I would be friends with people I just perhaps didn't like because I was insecure, and then I would be resentful and blameful towards them for not being, you know, it's like insane. And all of these things, I was like, wow. It was quite a revelation to see that I was actually the architect of my own destruction. So the last part of that whole process is really looking at what we call character defects, and there's 4 character defects. Selfishness, self-seeking, which actually just means being manipulative, fear, and dishonesty. And when I really looked at those character defects, I could see that I could trace back actually the reason I felt like the reason I kind of constructed this whole it's not fair, they did these things to me, was because I was frightened, I was insecure, I wasn't honest or authentic in my relationships with anybody. So all I could work on was changing that. I couldn't work on my crazy mother or the bitch at work or the friend who I didn't. All I could work on was changing me. And the rest of the steps enabled me to do that, to work on the bits of my character that had been revealed as being selfish, manipulative. You know, it's amazing to discover how manipulative you are, how you try and get your own way and get the people in your life to do what you want them to do, and then you're angry at them because they didn't do what you wanted to do because they couldn't read your mind about your master plan for the whatever, you know, and you're blaming them for all of that. And it's like, I just stopped doing that. I just didn't do that. If I said, you know, hey, you know, let's do something on Saturday, and you say yes, and then you say no, and then you change the time, and I'm like, well, let's do 4, and then I'm just like, sure, whatever. I'm going to go and do this at 4. If you want to come, that'd be great. If not, no problem. Whereas I just wasted all this energy in trying to get you to be where I wanted you to be at 4, with the kind of attitude I wanted you to have. You know, like, I just stopped all of that. Trying to control people, you know, all of those kind of things. There's actually, there's lots of parts to this, and I want to talk about the rest of it. So why don't we keep this in part 1, and then we'll talk about the rest of looking of doing this personal inventory in the second part.
Okay.